friends. So as always, let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, if everything's working right. Yeah. Let me know how you're doing, how your week is going. It's only Monday, but how your week is going, how you're feeling today. And then soon we're going to get started talking about how social media is killing your creativity. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this was because as a creative myself, I've been really discouraged lately. I've been really feeling kind of burdened by social media for a lot of reasons. And, I think that social media is like a beautiful place to come and to connect with people and to share your stuff and to connect with other people who are sharing their stuff and all that good stuff. But sometimes, I put on my glasses, sometimes social media can be too much. And again, we'll get into that in a second. But either way, happy Monday, happy March 1st, happy Women's History Month. Yay! And today we are going to be making some art because it's Women's History Month. And we never finished Miss Tammy Terrell. So we're going to finish Miss Tammy Terrell today while we talk about this thing. I feel like a lady putting on my glasses like this. But yeah, let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, if everything's working good. And then we can get started. Okay, awesome. Yay. So Jay Calloway Pinkney says, looking and sounding great as always. Oh, thank you, baby. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. Okay. All right. So as you come in, just let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling, how your week is going, what you're looking forward to this week. Again, it's Monday and it's March and we're getting closer and closer and closer to spring. And though I love winter, I am excited about the spring. Can't really do much, but I'm excited to see the weather change and all that good stuff. Oh, yay. Osio Gold is here. Hi. Working fine. Hi. And thank you. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, let's get started. So I wanted to talk about social media because I feel like social media is one of those things that is like right now a necessary evil. And maybe necessary is not necessarily the greatest word to describe social media. Yay, hi Carlton. He says, I'm looking forward to more truth. Oh, awesome. I'm glad. I hope I can give it. I'm here to share my truth, so I hope that it's helpful to you. I hope that it's helpful. So yeah, so like I said, as a creative myself and as a consumer of creativity in social media, I feel like social media is beneficial in a lot of ways. It helps us connect with other people like you all right now. It helps be able to peer into people's lives and to see like their daily thinking, their daily work, their daily art, things like that, and it's a beautiful place for people to come and connect and to keep up with one another. Family and friends from across the country were able to like, oh, hey, what'd you eat for breakfast this morning? And also, oh, snap, you graduated. That's exciting. So I don't want to demonize social media for all of the things because I feel like there are some positive things that come along with social media. But like I said, I feel like there are some considerations, not cons, but considerations to take into consideration when we talk about social media. And I also want to talk about, which is the whole point of this whole video, I also want to talk about how social media is killing your creativity or your appreciation of creativity. So again, it's Women's History Month. And I realized we never finished finishing the portrait of Miss Tammy Terrell. And so I want to do that today in honor of Miss Tammy. Yay. And it was Black History Month last month. And I figure Black History Month, Women's History Month, let's merge it together and let's celebrate a phenomenal woman. Yay. Okay. So I'm going to start with consuming, right? Because I feel like for some people here, they're like, I'm not really an artist. I'm not really a creative, even though I think everybody's a creative. I get it. So you're saying to yourself, well, how is social media ruining creativity for me? And to be honest, as a consumer of creative art or creative work, there are things that social media has kind of conditioned us to think and believe about art. So one example is, as a consumer, we believe that art is just like instant, right? We think that art is just like, oh, that's just so simple. And look at how easy this person put this thing together, right? Before social media, like an artist might take months, if not years. If they're a musician, they might take years to finish a musical project. What else? A book, like maybe years, like maybe 3 years. You don't know when the artist is going to put out a book. You don't know what's going to happen next. And so we're just kind of waiting in anticipation, like, oh my God, when is this person going to put out, another piece of artwork? Social media, I feel like, has allowed people who either don't create that kind of art to believe that it should always be available, it's easy to make, and that everyone's a critic. Everyone's a professional and they know how to critique stuff correctly and things like that. And so what happens is like our patience for quality art diminishes. I feel like everybody's been hounding Rihanna for, at this point, years about homegirl. When is the next when is the next CD coming out, right? And she's like, everybody calm down, right? Not just, but she's running a makeup line, a clothing line, all this other stuff. And the fans want to know, like, you doing all this other stuff, sis. Like, where's the stuff that we actually care about, the music? And not saying that some people don't care about her, her other ventures, but most fans are like, I just want you to create an album. And so people don't really understand how much work it takes to go into an album, how much work it takes to, let me zoom in, how much work it takes to actually come up with the material, the concept, to hire the musicians. Like, she's not just like some DIY artist. And even if she was, that's still a lot of work, right? So all this other stuff, and people think like, oh, it should just be ready. It should be instantaneous. Like, y'all need to be putting out albums every year and all this other stuff. When fans don't really understand or know how much work goes into making this work of art, making a full body of music. We think that, oh, she should be, oh, who is she? Oh, this is Tammy Terrell. So Tammy Terrell is, so I'm sure one of her most famous songs is Ain't No Mountain High Enough. She sang with Marvin Gaye. They sang a lot of duets together, but she was her own artist on Motown Records. So yeah, so this is Tammy Terrell. Yay. So what was I saying? Yes, so a lot of people think that art should just be automatic. It should be out as often as possible. And people don't really take the time to understand how much reverence you need to have for creators and their craft. Because if you want quality music, sometimes you gotta wait. You have to wait. One of my favorite artists is Frank Ocean. And he's phenomenal in my mind. He's a phenomenal writer, composer, producer, and that man will come out with an album every 5 years, every 5 years. But the album is amazing. The music is great, and it's because he's taken that time to actually put together a quality piece of work. Say what you want about Tyler Perry, because I have a lot of thoughts too. But Tyler Perry, when he actually takes time to create some work, when he takes time to create the work, I really feel like it's not that bad. It's not such bad writing. And I'm very careful to say if it's bad or not. I just feel like it's just not my cup of tea. But for some people, they love him. They swear by him. So I'll let them have it. But for the most part, I'm not a huge fan of Tyler Perry for a lot of reasons. I feel like he makes a lot of money off of Black women's pain. I don't know. It's just weird to me a little bit. But either way, so when he takes the time to actually create his work, I feel like his work gets better, And so I feel like the fans are insatiable. And so when's the next movie coming out? What's happening? And so he creates this work every single year, or 5 shows at a time. And then, in my opinion, the writing's not there. The writing's not that good. It's all over the place, or there's holes in the plot. And then it ends kind of weird. The person just dies in a car crash. And then everybody's just magically, oh, we're all happy again. Now, again, I watched Why Did I Get Married? The first one. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was great, right? The second one, I'm just like, what happened here? It's just like a train wreck. At the end, sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen it, the husband of whoever Janet Jackson's character dies and in a car crash. And then all of a sudden, Janet is like, oh my God, I did love him. And then she's like, everybody hug each other. And it's all worked out. It's happy now. And I'm like, that's not real life. That's not how this works. And then The Rock comes up at the end and he's asking, they seem like they're flirting with each other. And then it's just what is happening here, right? My whole point in saying all of that is that I feel like when artists take their time, when they're given time to take, then they can create some quality music or quality art. It doesn't matter what the medium is. So yeah, so I really feel like social media has, again, trained people to believe that art is just easy, it's simple, give me what I want. Give it to me on demand, ready, right now. Rocio Gold says, everybody says you should do the opposite of what Frank Ocean does now, and it hurts my soul. Same, because artists are not machines, right? We need time. We need time to make the stuff. We need time to market it. We need time to just rest. Like, I feel like rest is foundational for creativity. And so, like, if we're not given time to do any of those things, the work is not going to be quality. It's not going to be real, and that's not going to be authentic. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But I agree. Like, everybody's saying, you listen to every podcast, every blog, everybody's telling you, put out a single every month, make an EP 4 times a year. An EP is like a small work of music, so maybe like 2 to 7 tracks, I think. And then like an LP is more than that, and then an album is even more than that. But either way, they're saying make an EP every quarter. And so the idea is like, oh, you have to keep feeding the machine or else your fans are going to get tired of you. And so for me, it's not the case, because again, the content or the quality of the content that Frank Ocean puts out, in my opinion, is high. Like, it's amazing. And so I'm willing to wait the 5 years. Like, you know what I mean? And also, people have lives. People have emergencies that come up. People are depressed. People are tired. Like, there's so many factors that go into creating art, but everybody thinks it should be like instant. Again, like you work at a factory, like you are a machine, and you're not. You're not a machine. You don't just clock in and like, oh, I'm gonna write a song today, or I'm gonna write a play today. And some people can do that. Like last week, I was able to write a song in a day. But again, I wrote it on my guitar. It was very simple, right? I didn't record it. I didn't literally record it with the right stuff. I didn't master and mix it. I didn't market it, like literally just for fun. But stuff that's like high quality, it's gonna take time. It needs time. So I agree. Going back to Miss Tammy. So another thing for consumers of art, right, and creativity is that we can't appreciate the creative process. Like I said, everybody thinks they're a critic. Everybody thinks that they know exactly what's happening, when it should happen. And, oh, this person can't sing and this person can't play. Meanwhile, they never played something in their life. They never wrote a book. They never did all this stuff, but they're willing to critique these people as if they're the professionals, right? And so people don't understand the ugly phase of creativity. And it's the reason why so many creatives are paralyzed. It's the reason why so many creatives won't share their work, because they're like, oh, it's not good enough. I can't share this with these people because they're going to tear me apart. People who consume art and don't understand it, or aren't patient, who look at people like they're machines, they're not going to value the time and work and effort that it takes to actually create art. They can't. Because again, social media has made everything so swipeable, so easy to ingest, right? So easy to digest. Another con of this, or consideration I'll say, is that, we're not able to appreciate creativity. So we look at photos on Instagram all the time. What we do? Oh, that's nice. Double tap, thumb, swipe, swipe, swipe. Meanwhile, the photographer or the videographer or the singer, whatever the creative, or the illustrator, it took them hours, if not days, if not weeks to work on this art. And for a lot of artists, it makes us feel like, well, dang, that's all that was for? Was just a double tap? That doesn't really mean anything, right? People don't actually take the time to actually consume the art, chew on it, to reflect on it, right? They're just swiping. And so for a lot of artists, it's like, well, where do I post my stuff to have it appreciated? You know what I mean? Back in the day, like, people were like, oh, I don't want, my stuff on social media. Like some people said they don't want their stuff on social media because the people that follow them can appreciate it. And so for the people who are watching, they're like, well, now you're out of my mind because you're not in the front of my mind on my social media feed. And so therefore your art isn't important anymore. And so it's really hard. Marquita says, looking good already. Thank you. I appreciate that. Margarita says it's mostly non-creatives that think content should come out very frequently. I agree. But the sad part is, because creatives are online on these like digital spaces, all the owners of the digital spaces are telling them to put out more art constantly to feed the machine. It's insatiable. Like, it's never going to be enough. The owner or the CEO of Spotify recently, and I'm a singer, so this was very disheartening to hear. But the CEO of Spotify, somebody asked him, how can I get more streams? How can I get more people streaming my music? How can I get put in, playlists? Because everything's on an algorithm, right? Everything is. It's not even people really listening to the stuff. It's machines. And so the CEO said, well, the way that you can get more streams, the way that you can get more downloads or whatever it is by putting out more music more frequently. So, sorry, if you put out an album once a year, that's not enough. If you put out an album once every 3 years, that's not enough. You have to start putting out more content more often. And so for a lot of artists, they were up in arms because Spotify is a platform that makes a lot of money, right? Let me let you guys in on a secret. When someone streams our music, we make it depends on what artist you are, how popular you are, right? What I've seen the most that I've seen is like 0.04 cents. 0.04 cents or 0.004 cent every stream. So a stream isn't even 1 cent, right? But you want us to keep putting out all this content and keep making all this music and keep, feeding this machine that's insatiable, that's not going to return any kind of like real dividends, right? So if people are streaming my music like millions of times, I'm not going to see $1 million. It's not the same. However, Spotify makes a lot of money off the backs of artists without having to put anything really into the artist, right? So if you talk about like a sports shop or something, they have inventory, they put in for the inventory to make money off of that inventory. Spotify has no, what is it called? They have no cost that they have to consider because the platform is built off of the backs of the artists. They're not managing them. They're not, giving them opportunities that nobody else can give them. The only opportunities that Spotify is giving is the availability of your music everywhere, right? That's about it. But beyond that, Spotify is getting rich and wealthy off of the backs of artists who are poor and struggling. And so when you hear something like that, and then the CEO tells you, oh, sorry, suck it up, you got to create more art, it makes the artist feel like you don't really appreciate or value my music. You see me as somehow to make money and as a machine, and I'm not a machine. Working in creative work, you have to consider stuff like that, but it seems like he's not considering it. Long tangent to say, support your artists, like buy their albums because they're not seeing any of that music. Buy their books, like even Amazon. Selling a book on Amazon, right? It's so much, y'all. But selling a book on Amazon, depending on how you produce the book, how you print it, how you publish it, you can make like 35 cents on the dollar, I think, 35 cents on the dollar from a book you sell. So that means all this work you've put into making the book, all the editing and the hours and the revisions and the binding and trying to figure out the dimensions and all that stuff, right? 35 cents on the dollar for everybody who purchased your book. And again, it depends on, what kind of thing you have set up. If you're like, it's a lot that it depends on. But either way, the whole point is a lot of these systems and these businesses and these places, even YouTube, right? Like these things, like they're saying to creators, you just have to keep creating. And for creative work, again, like I said, here goes that car again. I don't know who that car is. Every time I go live, this car is loud. But anyway, like no matter what the creative is doing, unless they're backed by labels or unless they're, they have a team around them, they're doing everything by themselves. So you're not just creating the music. You're not just writing the book, right? You're your own editor, your own marketer, your own, booking manager, your own stylist and all this stuff. There's no entourage. It's not sexy for DIY artists in any regard. But yet the person is telling us to constantly do more, be more. And you're literally only one person. And so these platforms are not on the side of creators. Anyway, like I was saying, trolls, people, everyone's a critic. Everyone has something to say. I feel like social media has given people the false reality, like a false idea that they are God in some way. This like and dislike button, these comments that people leave, the mean and hurtful things that people say, somehow social media has convinced people that what they have to say matters. And even though I feel like everybody matters, I don't feel like every opinion that I have matters. It's not important because if you like it, what I have to say means nothing. But a lot of our stuff is dependent on whether or not people like our stuff. You know what I mean? So instead of trying to please our fan base or please, ourselves with our own art, we're too busy trying to please fans and please like, please share, please subscribe. Like when you see people saying stuff like that, like it means something because it actually, like you validating their things means that their things gets put into other people's feeds. And so being put in other people's feeds gives people the opportunity to be seen by more people. So like even on Instagram, if you have a friend who has a business, just a tip, Support them, share their stuff, save the post, put it in your stories. Like, it seems silly, but like, these people are trying to use this platform to benefit them, and the platforms are not in their favor. So you, as a friend, I feel like it's your responsibility to help them. Period. So moving on to the artists, how social media is killing your creativity, right? So we talked about trolls, even as a consumer, right? So, I mean, think about that on the receiving end. I have little Post-its, guys. So, yeah. As an artist, as an actual creative, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, did I say that already? As someone who's trying to start a course or whatever it is, a program, social media is hard. Social media is so hard. It can make someone so weary. It depletes people, especially when you post that thing and it gets like 2 likes. And so you equate those 2 likes with your value. And you're saying, well, dang, I'm only worth two hearts, right? Not considering the fact that, again, with algorithms, right? Everybody don't see your stuff. So already, sorry, I'm talking and not drawing, but already you have the system working against you. I think when someone posts a post, if nobody reacts to it within the first like 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes or something, then the Instagram algorithm hides it from everybody else. I think, again, I don't work there, but this is what I've heard. And so you realize the algorithm is not for creators. It's just for money. Like, it's for profit. Instagram is for profit. They're making money from your attention. They're making money from you buying things through ads and all this other stuff. So it's for profit. And so for a lot of creators, like I said, you're comparing yourself. Like, oh snap, this person posted this. I'm gonna speak for myself. This person posted this song and they got so many likes. And me, I'm like, ain't nobody even seen my stuff. Did it suck? And you start to think like, do I sound bad? Am I a bad singer? Am I a bad artist? And you start to compare yourself to the likes of other people. And again, this can work both ways, right? So some people pride themselves, shoot, I'm verified. I have thousands of followers. Like, that means anything, right? But then for other people, like, their whole thought is, oh, well, I don't have a whole bunch of followers. I must not be anybody. I must not be important. My art must not be quality. And so you have these people believing that everything that they're doing, what'd I click? Everything that they're doing is trash. Like, because so-and-so didn't like their Instagram post. And it sounds silly. It sounds like, for people who are not creatives, like, it could sound like, girl, it's not that serious. People are like starving and you worried about likes, right? But for artists who want to have their art, verified, and I don't think verified is the right word, appreciated, it could seem that no one is appreciating their artwork because of the lack of engagement. And so therefore then Instagram or whoever hides their content, and a lot of work goes into them making that content, and then nobody appreciates it. So for people like us, creatives, I feel like everybody's creative, but for creatives, it can feel like, or business owners, it could feel like I have to compare myself to the likes of somebody else because they're killing it and I'm struggling, right? So comparison is already bad in day-to-day life, right? But keeping up with the Joneses gets worse with social media. It's just everywhere. It's prevalent. Another reason why people struggle with creativity in social media is that you see people doing what you want to do. You see somebody doing the stuff that you want to do, and you're like, dang, it's already been done. Now I can't do it because now I'm going to look like I bit off of her, or I stole the idea, or this person is doing it better. So maybe I shouldn't do it at all, right? Like, we stop ourselves because no, like we talked about before, there's no way to come up with a super like unique idea. Everything has been done before in different ways, but everything has been done. And so on social media, like, we want to, what can I do to stand out? How can I stand out from the crowd, right? And then, like, because everybody else is doing what we want to do, or other people are doing what we want to do, and they seem like they have a bigger following, people go to them for this thing, we think that that invalidates our idea and our ability to do the same thing, which is dangerous. Jay Calloway Pinckney says, followers don't equal fans or customers. Exactly. And also, people can buy Instagram followers, you guys. You can buy followers. It's a thing. There's a business for it. Margarita says, on IG, my husband posts the same post 3 to 4 times in a row just for that reason. See? You see what I'm saying? And it might be the time. It might be like, oh, somebody like saw the post and wanted to like it, but closed their phone. And because they didn't engage with it, now it's gone forever, right? So I totally understand posting 3 or 4 times in a row. I get that. I totally understand that. And for someone like me who struggles with being seen, the fear of being seen, the idea of having to post something over and over again is terrifying to me. It's like debilitating. Like I can't deal. I can hardly deal with like, hey, I have a workshop coming. Please come. Okay, I'm going to get off Instagram now, right? And I close the app and then I come back. Nobody's interacted with it. And I'm like, I'm not posting that again. I'm not doing it. That was already a lot of work. That was already a lot of work to do it in the first place. But my hat goes off to people who can do that over and over again. And I have to work on that. That's just something I have to work on. It's the pride. It's the fear. It's all the things. So yes, like I said, it'll have us doubting if our work is good in the first place. Like, oh, I didn't get no likes, so therefore it must suck. What I'm doing must suck. When again, no, my dear, like, no, nobody saw it. I've had posts where Denise or someone else, one of my friends, Denise, like, she'll be like, wait, when did you post this? Or when did you post about it? I'll tell her something like, oh, an event passed or something. And she'll be like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, I never saw it. And so, again, your own friends, your own people. I hope these teeth come out right. Your own people don't see your stuff. So, like, why do you think everybody else is going to see it? You know what I mean? It's just unfortunate. This picture's so old, it's like pixelated. So I'm trying to see the details. But yes, I also feel like by being on social media, creatives are unintentionally influenced by other creatives. It's just a fact. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think people are doing it on purpose. But if you go through Instagram now or Facebook or wherever, everybody's starting to look the same, say the same things, do it the same way. And I feel like that just happens naturally. Like whoever you're around, you're going to end up sounding like. Whatever content you consume, you're going to sound like them. And so unfortunately, but kind of fortunately, like with building community, again, you're going to take on the traits and the beliefs of the people you hang around with. So your art starts looking like other artists' art, and your ideas you think is an idea that you came up with, but really it's like, oh wait, you did this? Like there's this I forget which artist it was, but he unintentionally wrote a song that was already written. You know what I mean? And he didn't do it on purpose. It literally was just like, oh, like I came up with this new song, check it out. And then somebody had to pull him aside and be like, no, this has already been done. Like this song is literally a song. And again, it's just because like subconsciously he's heard the song before. But again, if you're not thinking about it, you're not going to pay attention to that. And the same thing happens with social media. So everybody is on there again, trying to do the same thing, trying to say the same thing. And it's unintentional. No one is doing that on purpose, right? I mean, there are some people who are doing that on purpose. We'll get to that in a second. But for the most part, people have good intentions. And so people are seeing this stuff and they're taking it in, and maybe like 2 years later, they're like, oh, I had this random epiphany, this random thought. They post it or they say it or they sing the same way. And so everything looks the same. Look at the IG models. And again, we'll get to that. But yeah, you look at the IG models, right? Like all the IG models look the same. It's like, it's the same look. It's the same pose. It's the same angle. And I get it because it works, right? So you're going to copy what somebody else is doing because it works too. That's another point that I want to make. Let me check in. Jen. Hi, Jen. Purposefully, Tasha said, OMG, this is amazing. I'm late. It's okay. We're still going. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Keela. Hello, Alicia. Hi, how are you? Jen said, that's true. Creativity explosion is a must. Yes. So again, everybody looks the same. Everybody's saying the same things. And if you're not careful, you too will pick up on those same things and become made up of what's around you. And it's natural and it's normal, right? But the negative side to that is that you take on traits that aren't yours. You take on messages that aren't really your messages. You don't really know how you feel. Like, it's like, do I feel that way or does this other person feel that way? And I just like, that's true. I'm going to change my whole perspective and my whole opinion of everything based on what this other person says. Another downfall or another disadvantage of social media is that it's too much noise. It's too much noise. It's too much noise sometimes. And again, it's not necessarily that, I'm trying to get this right. I'm trying to honor Miss Tammy Terrell. It's too much noise. So like, I believe that in order to create some good music, good writing, good anything, you need quiet. You need quiet. Like, you need quiet for thought. I don't know if I like that. You need quiet for consideration, quiet for editing, quiet for thinking clearly, quiet for, again, communing with God. Like, sometimes you just need to be quiet. The thing about social media is that there's always noise going on. Visual noise, like literal noise, like, and mental clutter. Like, you take in social media in the morning. Like, that's why I'm trying to change my morning routine. My husband reminds me to keep my phone out of the bedroom, so that when I go to sleep, when I wake up in the morning, my phone's not the first thing I see. I'm not on social media because it's just so easy. It's like, oh, well, let me be entertained today, right? But what we don't realize is that we're taking in all this extra stuff from other people. Like, we're taking in their opinions, their thoughts. And so you're starting your day not quiet with yourself or quiet with your God. You're starting your day being distracted by all these other people, by all these people, right? With all these differing opinions. And then sometimes I'll be like, what is it, like doom scrolling, and then I'm depressed, and then, or somebody says something wild and crazy, and I'm like, and I get upset about that. And yeah, like, if you're not careful, we all can fall victim to it. And for creativity, like, we need the space and the time, like I said, to be quiet, to be able to create freely, to know what we're thinking, to know what we want to do, to be clear on like who we are, what our message is. But again, with social media, it gets harder and harder. I'm trying Miss Tammy Terrell. It gets harder and harder. Sorry. That's so handy says, I swear I was Crystal says, I was thinking this today. Everyone is literally doing the same thing. They are. And I feel like for some people, it's not on purpose. Like, some people, it's just like, oh, my bad. Like, this person said it. I forgot that they said it, or I forgot that they did it, right? But for a lot of people too, it's like, oh, this person did that. That worked for them. Let me try it too, you know? And so then you don't get any like authentic and honest art anymore. All you get is just like, what is it? An amalgamation of other people. And again, that's the same thing for us. Like, some of the stuff I'm like, I want to post this, and I have to question myself, why do I want to post this? Why? What's the purpose? You know, because again, there's already so much out there. And again, sometimes, I'm be honest, sometimes I don't like this. Anyway, sometimes the fact is that, let me take this off. The fact is that some people do think the same things. Like, some people, not on purpose, like, they're just like, oh, I feel the same way that you do. Like, I have the same issues as you do. I have the same mission and goal as you do. And sometimes that's just the case. But like I said, sometimes also people just, you know, take what they see and they run with it. And like I said, I get it. Because again, if you see somebody doing something that works, we're all trying to crack a code and crack an algorithm. If you see something that works, you're probably going to take on what they're doing. So yes. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. So yeah, another reason is that there's too many people telling you what to do. Too many people are telling you how to create, what to think, what to wear, how to cook this thing, how to, you know, we're taking in so much information. And this could be social media. This could be podcasts. This could be YouTube. This could be Pinterest. Pinterest is one of my like, oh, save all these pins. I want to do all these things, right? But there are too many people telling you what to do. And sometimes it's differing opinions. And for me, what happens is I get overloaded with information. I get overwhelmed. And then before I've like even done anything, I'm shutting down. I'm like, nope, it's too much. I'm going to bed. I'm not doing this no more. I can't do this. Because how am I, like, I want to do the right thing. I want to do what's right. And so really, like, what does it mean to do what's right? How long has social media really been around? Not that long. But we're depending on these like social media gurus to tell us, no, you got to do it this way. And you have to say this thing. And your videos have to look like this. And, you know, it's just, to me, it's depressing. But go off. Okay. Teeth are always interesting to me. I think I'm going to edit these teeth. But I like how she's looking so far. Can you tell us, Tammy Terrell? Let me know. Be honest. But yes. And so one of the main reasons why I feel like social media takes away your creativity or kills your creativity is because you're creating for an algorithm instead of for the sake of creating. Like, you're creating to become viral. You're creating to gain all these followers. You're creating to appease other people and your followers and like to gain more fans or whatever it is. You're creating this stuff so that you can be the next big thing, as opposed to just creating stuff because you like it, creating stuff for the sake of creating. And what I'm gonna say is a lot of people who have like the least amount of followers create the best music to me. Like create the best music, the best podcasts, the best everything. Like food, I don't know. I just know that what it looks like. But people who aren't interested in pleasing an algorithm, people who aren't interested in trying to garner all these followers, but who are truly creating from their heart and their soul, those are my favorite artists. Those are my favorite people. And those are people who kind of like buck against the system and say, not interested. So Jen says, yes, honey. Yes. Hi, Audux. Audux, let me know if I'm saying that right. Thank you. You said it looks nice. I appreciate that. I hope it turns out okay. Audux says, I know, right? It looks really good. Yay, I'm glad. I'm happy. Jen says, that is true. I'm learning this. Yes. Yes. The low keyers, hashtag the low keyers. Yes. The people who don't care create the best stuff. Create the best stuff. That's So Handy says, I completely agree. I agree too. I listen, I get it. Like we all want to be validated. We all want to be affirmed. We all want to believe that, our art is worth something, that we're worth something, that what we're doing is valuable. And so, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, have created these things. It's almost like currency. Like liking and subscribing and it's like it makes us feel good, but is it really doing anything? Is it really making people feel? Is it moving people? Is it communicating what you want it to communicate? Or are you just trying to do something for the sake of being liked? Okay, so you said it's pronounced Itux. Atux? Atux, again, that could just be me. A-Y-E in my mind is like I, unless it's like A, like A-Y-Y-Y-Y-Y-E. But it's probably like Atux. Hi, Atux. Welcome. And again, if I'm wrong, correct me again. So yes. So again, you're creating for an algorithm, for followers, for likes, for subscribes, for shares, as opposed to just creating for the sake of creating and creating something honestly and and so another thing that happens when you're trying to create for an algorithm, you need everything to be perfect. Everything has to look perfect, sound perfect. It has to be the perfect caption. It has to be moving within the first 3 lines. And social media has set it up to be this way, right? So I get it. But at the same time, sometimes what I need to say can't be said in 3 lines. I can't say what I'm trying to explain, right? Which is why I have a podcast, which I can just like talk for forever. Or I talk here with you guys. I talk to you guys in real time. And so I posted something recently about like taking up space. And I was like, should I post this? Is the colors right? I don't know if people are going to get it. I don't know if people are going to understand it. And I'm not an artist. Like this is fun for me doing this right here. But like visual artists, like without any like reference or anything, it's not my strong point. And so I posted it anyway because I really believed it. I said, okay, it might look like trash, but this is what I really feel. And people resonated with what I posted. People got it. I'm like, okay, great. So I was majoring in a minor. Nobody cares. People care. But as long as your art and your message is clear and you're saying something, for me, I don't care what your art looks like. Like what it's communicating though, if it's honest and earnest, like I'm down. There are some artists who sing and sometimes they'll be off pitch and again, check out The Story by Brandi Carlile, one of my favorite songs ever. But that song, her voice cracks and like, you would think like, why didn't she retake this? Why didn't she redo this? But there was so much honesty in her voice and in the words of the song. I'm just like, I don't care. If anything, I love the fact that it's imperfect. I love the fact that it sounds like in the studio you did this in one take. I don't know if she did or not, but like that's what it sounds like to me. And so because it sounds so honest and so pure, I love the song. The song's perfect. It's perfect because it is imperfect. But social media will have you thinking, that if it's not perfect, it's not worth posting. And because everybody wants a curated feed and everybody's like, should I post this? Does this go with my color scheme? And trust me, I'm saying this laughingly, but this is stuff that I've considered too. To be a real artist, to be taken seriously, do I have to have, graphics that are on brand in the same color and in the same font, and just majoring in stuff that just overwhelms me and drives me nuts, to be honest, like, cause I change my mind every day. And so I think as artists, don't worry about an algorithm. Create for you. Do stuff that feels good to you, that feels honest to you. You know what I'm saying? Atux says, yes. Okay, great. Tasha said, girl, that taking up space post was it. Yay, I'm glad. See, and it was just a bunch of circles. Like, it was just a bunch of circles communicating an idea. But yes, like, that's what I was feeling. Okay. A-Tuck says, whoa, wait, you're 100% an artist. If you tell yourself that you're not, then you're really wrong. I am really bad at art, but that looks really, really good. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, you're right. Let me stop. You're right. It's really hard for me to not say sorry right now. And I know that I have friends that'll get on me like, stop saying sorry so much. But yeah, no, you're right. I'm gonna stop. I am an artist. I am. It's just that I know that people, no, just leave it. I'm an artist. Okay. We're gonna keep on moving before I say something else. So creating for an algorithm can be really discouraging, and it's a robot. It's not a person. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't understand what you're really trying to say. It doesn't know if the message that you're saying is actually worth posting or not, right? So instead, we're literally relying on a robot to tell us whether or not we're worthy. And that's silly. That doesn't make any sense. But we do it all the time. And we should stop doing that. We should create for the sake of creating. I want to see more authentic and honest art. Like, forget the filters, forget the editing, forget the Photoshop, forget the retouching skin. Listen, I'm a photographer. Like, I've set my foot down. I'm not retouching no skin. This is how your skin looks. It's beautiful. It's awesome. And I have to say this for myself too. Like, when I'm editing my own photos, like, girl, you're not touching that. And I know how to do it. I just won't do it because I'm over the perfectionism. I'm over the perfection. It's debilitating. And then you look at yourself in the mirror. It's kind of side tangent. You look at yourself in the mirror and you think like, my body's not perfect. I can't post it. I don't have the right angles. I have rolls. Who cares? Show your beautiful face. Show your beautiful body. Tasha says, I agree with you. And the pressure of creating out of season. You're going to my next point. The pressure of creating out of season for the sake of being consistent on social media. Yes. So I guess we can just go to the next one. Shanisi Sachet says, yes, create for the sake of creating. And please, again, correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, I agree. Create for the sake of creating because it feels good, because you believe in it, because it's something that matters to you, not an algorithm, not other people, not fans. And the thing is, when you actually create stuff for you, you will find your people. Your people will see the stuff and be like, yes, that, yes. Like, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be polished. It just has to be. So like Tasha said, the pressure of creating out of season for the sake of being consistent on social media. I was like, for the month of March, I don't want to be on social media. My first thought was, oh no, I have to be consistent. I have to keep posting. If I don't post, people will forget about me. If I don't post, how will people know about the workshop I want to have in April, right? And again, that's marketing, so that's a whole other issue. But it's like, why am I so concerned with people forgetting about me when I know that I need a break from social media? I know I need to take time away. I know I need to unplug. But yet I'm holding on because I'm like, no, this is what all the gurus are saying. I have to post all the time. I have to create all the time. I have to share what I'm doing every day. I have to, share what I'm eating for breakfast. I'm exaggerating, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be constantly plugged in. And I don't even think we were built to be plugged in that long and that often. I don't think that's normal. I think that's weird and odd. I think that there's beauty in taking time to be alone, and there's beauty in taking time away, and beauty in actually connecting with real people. You know what I mean? Social media can do that, but it can't really do that like one-on-one conversations. It's kind of like, oh, if I see your post, hey girl, like, yes, you know what I mean? But to have deeper and more intimate conversations, I feel like I need to unplug from social media. And so I don't want to be out of season. I don't want to be, sorry, my husband is correcting me on pronouncing something. But I don't want to be out of season. I don't want to be in a place that I'm not supposed to be, because I've been there. And what I'll tell you is, even though that you're constantly putting out stuff and creating stuff, it's still not going to be good. It's still not going to be good enough. You're still going to be burnt out. You're still going to be tired. And, for those 5 likes, was it worth it? Was it worth not taking a nap? Was it worth not getting off? No, like, I know that I need a break. And this is confirmation for me to take a break from social media. But yes, it will pressure you into creating out of season. Everything has its season. Like, that's a scripture, right? But also, like, just think about the seasons that we're in now. We're about to go into spring. There's a time that you need to be dormant. A time you need to rest. A time like a year, like for people who work in the fields, like the fields is in, that's not bad. For people who farm, they know that they can't farm the land every single year. because you're going to suck the nutrients out of the ground. And so you're going to have food that's not nutritious. It's just bland. It's just, like, right? But we know that, I think that we are just like God's land. And so therefore we need to rest sometimes. Every time is not about harvest. Like every time is not planting. Every time is not even rest, right? But I feel like when we know that we're going into a season, well, we need to go into a season of rest. We need to honor that and be okay with that and understand that our worth is not tied to our productivity, not tied to how many likes I have, how many subscribers do I have. Like, turn off the numbers. If that's bothering you, like on YouTube, there's an option here where subscribers, I might do that because it's annoying. I hate checking in to see, am I almost to 1,000? Y'all, I'm at 600 something. I don't know. I'm trying to be monetized, but like, then it's like, okay, then what, right? But anyway, I agree with you 100%. And then Atux says, for the past 3 years, I have been trying to develop a Google Chrome extension bot, improves the algorithm and makes it so that smaller creators are given to you so they have a chance as well. I love that idea. That's really cool. Jay says, that sounds dope, like a dope extension. That would be super helpful. Yes, it would be, because your girl is tired. Atux also says, I just want other small creators to get a chance on YouTube instead of having these bigger YouTubers rise. Yes, they need a chance as well. I agree. And then there's this whole like, the down part about chasing an algorithm is that they always change it. They always change what's in, what's not, what's trending, what's hot, like that rhymed. But like whatever is like the happening thing now, it changes. And so if you're constantly chasing an algorithm, you will never be able to please it. It will never be enough. You will never be enough. Jen says, I'm from Essenage Photography. Please correct me. Took a break from my business to have time for self. Yes, that's important. Photography is a hard job. It really is. I need to place myself in comfort and to get my mind together. Can be burnt out when creating content and consistent. Yes. Burnout is so easy when you're creating content, especially for stuff like photography. Again, it's like you put in all this work and effort. Y'all, when you're taking pictures, you on the ground, you sweating, you work in the actual photo shoot, you're actually editing after the fact, you're packaging it, you're doing research before the photo shoot, then you send the pictures to your clients, and then you're hoping that they can appreciate the photos as much as you do, and sometimes they don't. And so photography is like this, again, a vicious cycle of like insatiable things, and I feel like it's important that you do take time to rest, for sure. That's why I took a break from photography altogether. I was like, I can't do this right now. I can't do it no more. All right. So like I said, algorithms change. And so you'll never be enough. Like, I know that sounds so sad and so bad, but it's true. Like, these are robots. They're more concerned about money. They're in dollar than your art, your content. And so what I said to myself is like, well, if they don't care nothing about me, then I might as well just create for myself anyway. I might as well do what I want to do anyway. Okay. Like, and I know that some people, like, they're really trying to be like, I do want to be a YouTube. That's what I want my job to be. Go off, like, do what you want to do. Right. But I think for me, what's more important, what's more valuable to me is that my art means something to me, and it's honest and it's authentic and it's impactful. And I can't really control if it's impactful or not, to be honest, but I can control what I put out, what I produce, and if I want to put out something that actually resonates with me first. That's what I can control. A couple more things to consider. And so one other thing to consider is that there are too many answers and not enough room for creative and critical thought, right? Google is at the tip of our fingertips. We can Google anything. Like, how do you do this? How do you X, Y, and Z? Why should I do this? Like, if you're Googling things like, you might want to reconsider some things, okay? Because one, my husband gets on me about that all the time. I always like, should I do this? And he's like, it's not a matter of should, it's if you want to, right? And so what I found myself doing was, and again, some things it's like, yeah, you shouldn't do that, right? But for other things, like, should I post on Instagram at 12 p.m.? And then I'm waiting for these experts to tell me, oh, this is the best time to post on Instagram, and da-da-da-da. And while there might be some truth to that, I don't want to schedule my life around what time people think that it's appropriate to post on Instagram. It's just too much for me. It's too much. And I might sound very anti-social media. Like I said, I'm not. I think that it's a beautiful thing and a beautiful concept. I just feel like how it works is wrong. And so once I started Googling, should I do this? Should I X, Y, and Z? Should I post about this? Should I make a video about this? As creatives, right? If social media didn't exist, it wouldn't be like, should I do that? It'd be like, no, I want to do that. Or no, I'm not interested in doing that. Right? Like, if we're not creating for other people, if we're not creating for an algorithm, we're not going to be totally concerned about whether or not people or whether or not society or social media or whoever says that I should or not. It's like, it's removing my ability to think for myself. It's removing my ability to have my own personal opinions and dreams and likes and dislikes. You know, one of the reasons why I go live like this is because I don't like recording myself and editing videos. It's too much work for me. Like, it's a lot. And sometimes I will edit videos and record them. But I feel like I'm trying to pack in everything I want to say and I want to do in like 5 minutes. And to me, it's like overwhelming. You know what I mean? And so the reason why I go live is because I can still put out content. I can still connect with the people that I want to connect with and make actual like important connections, like talking to you all and having you all respond. I love conversations. Like, I'm a conversationalist. I'm not just like, I want to speak into a void. You know what I mean? I want to hear stuff back. I need that. And so this is giving me everything that I need. So sorry, you all are commenting, so I want to respond. Atex says, a better way how to market your videos to grow as well is to do Discord or something. I've heard about that. I've heard that Discord is better. I don't really know what that is. I have to Google it, but yeah, I've heard that too. And Atex says, you get to keep your subscriber population and at the same time growing your own community with the content that they like. That's cool. I'm looking to that then. I'm looking to that. Crystal says, too much. Way too much. Way too much. Jen says, OMG, I need to give you a hug. Yay, hug. Your confirmation right now. I'm glad that I came by. I'm glad you came too. And I'm glad that God can confirm something for you. Because I'm literally I'm talking from these notes that I wrote down, just my thoughts. And I'm glad that you were impacted by that. One above all. Hi. Alicia Renice, the artist. So when do you think it's best? When do you think it's best to post? To post an answer? Oh, there's a follow-up question. Do you think doing the videos live gives you real-time positive enforcement? I think so, for what's positive to me. Like, again, having conversation is important to me. When I tell people to like, comment, and subscribe, like, I really mean, hey, comment so we can have a conversation. I don't know. I guess it does give me some positive enforcement or reinforcement. I'm sure it does. But at the end of the day, to me, posting on on YouTube for it just to be lost in the sauce, like, it's really just aggravating and like depressing for me. And yeah, like, maybe eventually people find it. Like, I posted a video. It was a cover of Martha Reeves in the Vandellas, Mr. Postman. And I posted that video maybe like 4 years ago. And that video all of a sudden blew up for no reason. I don't know why, but I have like thousands of views on that video. I couldn't tell you what happened. I really don't know what I did. But like thousands of views, right? And then I post more music and it's like, 30 views. So I don't know. I don't know what it's about. I don't know the algorithm. I don't know the ins and outs. But this to me in real time, communicating with people means way more to me than just like, because again, thousands of likes, but none of them subscribed. So it's like, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. But I am grateful that the music is out there and people can find me through that video. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's like, okay, that's cool. Thumbs up is great. But conversation to me is better and deep connection to me is better. So yeah. Yes. So I hope that answers your question. If I didn't answer it right, you can ask the follow-up question for sure. But yes, I feel like when we have issues, when we have problems, it helps us to be creative, right? So I mentioned Googling stuff to see like, is this right? Should I do this? I don't know. Like you begin to be formed by the opinions of the public, by the opinions of the followers of, and not even like your deep followers, but just followers like for the sake of having followers. And you kind of lose yourself in it. You kind of lose yourself in this algorithm because you're like, who am I? I don't even know. All I'm trying to do is get that like I'm trying to chase that check. And that check in this instance is literally maybe like a verification check or like literally like a thumbs up or a comment or something, right? Or subscribe, and like Jay said earlier, just because you have all these followers and subscribers don't mean you have money. Doesn't mean that you actually have something worth something to you. You have to define what's worth it to you. And so for me, again, commenting and talking with you guys in real time means a lot to me. And so, like I said before, I want to go live, I think next week and try like to have people come on so that we can actually be live together. We'll see how that works. And you don't have to, it's no pressure, but yeah. And yeah, I feel like, again, like restrictions, problems helps you become a problem solver. And so I feel like what's happening now is that because Google's at our fingertips, Instagram, YouTube, you can find the answer to everything. And while that's a beautiful thing, sometimes it's also like a very messy thing, because we need to have problems to be creative. Our creativity needs problems. It needs limitations. It needs like limited room and limited parameters to be as creative as it needs to be our creativity be as creative as it needs to be. You know what I mean? So, when we are like, oh, what's the best this for this? You can't even try it yourself anymore, because like you want to be right. You're not interested in being creative or being, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? You're not interested in being creative. You're interested in being right. And you want it to be right the first time, when really what makes your brain more creative is you having limitations, is you having things that aren't working for you. And like I said, if you're broke and your rent is due next month, you will get creative to figure out how to pay your rent. You know what I'm saying? And so while frustrations and problems are annoying, I do feel like it is important as creatives to have them. But again, social media is taking away the ability for us to think for ourselves and to critically think. You look at some posts and people are just kind of like in group think. It's like, I subscribe to this thought or mentality of this person, therefore I think like this, versus like, I'm with God. I'm my own person. I will consider what you have to say and what you have to say, and I will make my own decision, right? We all want to be on the right side of history, or the right side of, and to me, yes, there is a right side of history, but you want to belong. And I get it, because we're social creatures. We want to belong, and we want to have, we want people to accept us. And so a lot of people just go with the group thought, like not even thinking for themselves and thinking deep about it. It's just like, no, I want to be liked, and so therefore I'm going to be with these people. And really it comes down to that. But again, with social media, we've lost the ability to think for ourselves in a lot of ways. And I'm victim of it too. I'm victim of it too. Nobody reads the whole article anymore. They just read the headline and repost it. Like, nobody has the capacity or the patience to read long form content, or to watch long form content, or to listen to something that's 3 hours long, to listen to a sermon that might be 3 hours long, right? It's like, no, if it's not done in 30 minutes, I'm out of here, right? Like we've lost our capacity. We've lost our patience because of social media, because of how fast everything goes by. So A-Tuck says, that's happened to me as well. I got a video with 1K views and then like averaging 50 to 100 views. See, it's like, you think you're hitting something. It's like, yes, I finally broke the algorithm. And it's like, LOL, just kidding. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I really don't know. And to be honest, it's a lot of work to try to figure out what it is. And in this season of life, I'm just not interested in trying to figure out what the algorithm is. I just want to be myself. I have things I need to work through, and things I need to overcome just personally. And chasing an algorithm or approval or whatever it is from these bots and these people in high places who are literally like playing with us and playing with our emotions, I'm not interested in chasing their approval, but I totally get it. Winged 500 says, being fake for so long to get views, you forgot who you are. Yes, there are people even speaking about like channels and stuff. There are people who build their whole identities around what their channels are about. And then they're afraid to pivot and change their mind because they're like, well, I'm going to lose followers. And it's like, well, this isn't who you are anymore. And it's okay. Like, you can change your mind. And so I really don't know if people are meant to be famous. This is a statement I'm going to say. I don't know if people are meant to be famous. I don't know if it's sustainable. I don't know that I feel like that everybody should be able to make a living off of what they do. I just don't know if having millions and millions of followers is healthy for any individual. Like, I don't want that many followers. I'm sorry. Because what comes with those people are expectations that you cannot fulfill, that you can't live up to, right? Like, I'm human, I'm flawed. I might not post for another 5 days, you know what I'm saying? But people will be like, you're not real, whatever, or you suck. It brings the trolls too. And so for me and my real fragile feelings, and I'm okay with being sensitive. I think there's beauty in being sensitive. I'm not interested in being famous. I just want to be able to make money from my art. And for a long time, I've been trying to figure out, how can I just make a living from my art? Like, literally a living from my art. And I feel like that's been the focus for me now, not necessarily all these followers and all this attention. So yeah, and I don't want to lose myself. I want to be myself for a living. I want to be myself for the rest of my life. And who I am today might not be who I am 10 years from now. And I want to be okay with pivoting and changing who I am. You know what I mean? Look at, an artist who has millions of followers, and then they decide to change their mind and their style, and everybody lose their minds. It's like, oh my God, you don't own them, but people think they own you. And so I'm not interested in all that. But yes, you can forget who you are. Atux says exactly, or even forcing viewers to do the same, to do something, etc. Example, that vegan teacher. Tell me more. Who's that vegan teacher? Who's that? Agape love. Exactly. Hi. Tasha says, yes, people will step into echo chambers only engaging with the people that think, speak, believe, eat, dress, and look like them. Exactly. You grow by stepping outside of that echo chamber. Start small. Read a book. That's real. That's funny to me. That tickled me. But that's real. Read a book. Like, engage with people who aren't like you, who don't have the same beliefs as you. It doesn't mean that you have to necessarily agree with everything they do or say, but really to get to understand where people are coming from and to understand like why you believe what you believe. I think it's important to take in other people's opinions. Tasha also says you usually wouldn't listen to a song. You wouldn't usually. That's when you'll grow exponentially. Sorry. You usually wouldn't. Listen to a song. Okay, got you. Read a book you usually wouldn't. Got you. It was a continuation. Listen to a song you usually wouldn't. That's when you will grow exponentially. I agree. I definitely agree. And I agree. I definitely agree. 100%. So yes. So again, get creative means unplugging sometimes. It means getting away, tucking away, being all of yourself, being okay with being yourself, being okay with not being like everybody else, and also being okay with the chance that you might bump, into other people who are doing the same things that you want to do. Like I said before, the issue is not you doing something that somebody else is doing. It's you being yourself while you're doing that thing. Like, I can sing, and other people on here sing as well, but we sing differently, or we sing about different things, or we have a different style or different strengths and weaknesses, right? Like, and I feel like it's a beautiful symphony, but if you lose yourself in trying to be like somebody else, you lose the essence of who God created you to be, and then therefore you're not even fulfilling the purpose He put you here to fulfill. Which is like, what's the point, right? What's the point of doing all this just for like fame and clicks and likes? Nah, that's no. Atux says that vegan teacher is a lady that is trying to force her viewers to go vegan. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. And got banned off of TikTok because she got reported so many times. Oh no, what does she say and do? But I agree. I struggle with that because sometimes, oh, here you go. She made a video called I Can't Breathe during the George Floyd outflow and got a lot of backlash for it, which I agree with. Ew. Why would you? That's gross. Okay. She's clearly trying to ride a trend and make something. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Yeah, she should have been banned. She should have been banned because that's trash. Kim, hi. I love how you're growing in confidence in every chat. Well, praise God. I'm not sweaty today, guys. That's awesome. Yeah, practice. I feel like with practice comes a little bit of confidence, because the first time I did this, I was like, oh my God, this is so dumb. Is anybody going to show up? Are people going to like it? Are people going to understand what I'm saying? And I stutter sometimes and I get like tongue twisted, and especially if I'm excited about something. And I'm like, I stammer and I say like a lot. And so I'm just grateful that you can see the growth. Thank you. Because sometimes it's hard to see the growth yourself. So I appreciate that, Kim. Yay. And just one more thing. With social media is a time suck. It sucks away your time. You're putting all this effort and energy into appeasing an algorithm that don't like you. They don't, they want you to pay for everything to get your post out there. You're putting all this time scrolling, and taking all this other stuff, and you become gluttonous, right? Like when you think about eating too much, you get sick. You get sick and you feel like you've taken in too much. And so if you're not putting out anything, like just like exercising, right? If you're eating a lot and you're not putting out any energy, you're going to, hold in all that energy. You're going to hold in fat and all this other stuff, right? And so again, I don't even know why I bring up these examples because I'm not a scientist, but I get the idea. You're supposed to put out as much energy as you take in. With social media, we're taking in all this stuff and we're not putting out anything. We're not creating anything that's real, that's authentic, that's really heart-centered art, right? We're doing stuff because we want to be liked. We want to be validated. We want to be in everybody's face all the time. We want to be at the top of their minds. When something happens or when they think of like, oh, who's an artist I can think of or whatever, and I get it, right? But at the same time, we have to create art that matters to us. Like I can feel when I need to create something. It's just something in me that I'm like, I need to make something. Let me just close this out because I don't know if we're going to finish Tammy today. But like, I know when I need to feel something. And when I finish this, I'll post it. I'll post it later for you guys. But I know when I need to feel something and create something. Like just today, after doing all this work, like I recorded my podcast, I recorded like 3 podcasts today. I had like 2 meetings with like potential people to work with and all this other stuff. And I needed to just create something. I sat on the floor and I strummed my guitar and I was making up a song. Like I needed to get that energy out of me. I needed to create something that somebody couldn't see, that somebody couldn't judge, that somebody couldn't pay me for. You know what I'm saying? I needed to create something that actually felt good to me. And that was important because, again, everything that's set up in society and in life is set up around this need to be validated, liked, for approval, to be looked at as a machine, which you're not a machine, like we talked about this before. But I needed to do something for the sake of doing it. And so also, like I said, social media just takes time away. It takes your energy away. It zaps you of energy. You haven't even done anything because you're being taken on all these emotions. I'm happy. I'm sad. Somebody posted about somebody passing. I'm happy. Somebody got a promotion. I'm happy someone got a job. I'm envious because I want to be doing what this person is doing. You're being taken on a roller coaster of emotions, right? In a matter of 30 minutes. And then you're exhausted. And you wonder why you're exhausted and why you don't have time and energy to create anything. Why you feel like, what's the point? I might as well not do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's important for you. It's important for you to create just for the sake of creating. And also to make time for creating in general. Social media, like you'll look down, you look up, 3 hours have passed and you're like, wait, what? Use that time wisely. Protect your time, protect your energy. And again, I'm not saying as we close, I'm not saying that social media, as we come to a close, I'm not saying that social media is all bad because like I said, there are beautiful things about social media. There are beautiful things that social media can bring. But there are also some ugly, ugly, ugly things. The social media algorithm is literally set up to keep you addicted, to keep you liking stuff, to keep you seeking validation, and keep you groveling and making people your God. Literally, that is literally what the app is designed for, to make it easy for you to be sucked in and to be kept there and to be held in bondage, right? And so this month in March, I am taking a break. I just decided just right now to be okay, God, I need a break. And we need to really make time for the stuff that we actually find important and valuable. And to me, social media is just not everything. It's not. It can't be. There's more to life than just social media. Few tips before we get out of here for having a healthy relationship with social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, right? Even podcasts, taking in too much information. Before we get there, Winged Wolf says, better not to question some things, less of a headache. Same. Yes. Because you'll be surprised what you'll find. You might not be happy about it. Atux says, the internet is very toxic, but if you are not ready for getting backlash and you don't think before you type, it's either going to go very, very good or you're going to get a lot of backlash. I agree. Marcus says, exactly. Necessity is the mother of invention. Ooh, look at you. Come on, quotes. Exactly. You need parameters. You need limits to be creative. And Crystal says, right, I have taken breaks often. Good. That's good. I need to be more diligent about that. Because even if I don't post, I'll just be scrolling. You know what I'm saying? And so even with that, I'm like, I'm scrolling, but I could be doing something totally different, right? I have a whole box of things. I want to start making candles. And so like I have this box that's been sitting in there for like 3 weeks. And I just need to break it open and do it. And I have the time. I'm just so zapped and drained after being on social media. And then also feeling like, one more thing. Social media takes away the ability to have hobbies, to do stuff just for the fun of it. You don't have to post everything on the gram. You don't have to be validated by everybody with doing everything. Some things are just for you and your family or your friends, and that's okay. Everything doesn't have to be posted on the gram. It just doesn't, because I don't want you taking a hobby or something you're interested in and it being killed and shattered because it got 2 likes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to be more intentional about sharing more hobby stuff on Instagram too, to be like, I'm a normal person. You know what I'm saying? And really to train myself that I don't have to post everything that's like perfect and polished. Like even the song I posted last week, it wasn't perfect and polished. My fingers were hurting. I was a little flat sometimes, you know what I mean? But doing the work of like putting myself out there imperfectly is helping me get out of that perfectionist mind state, right? And it's helping me like, oh, what's the worst that can happen? People don't like it. And they move on. So a few tips for social media. Like Crystal said, take a break. A month, a week, a day, whatever you can handle. A weekend, like take a break. Get off of social media. Like live life. Live your life. I have a friend, Marquita. I saw her earlier. She don't have no social media. And so for a lot of people, it's like, that's crazy. And she's just living her life. She's not dead. She's very well connected to the people that she's intentional about being connected to and being connected with. And so I admire that about her. And I wish that I can get to that point And maybe one day I will. Who knows? We'll see. Take a break. So again, another tip is to listen to your heart and not the algorithm. I don't care what's trending. Everybody's saying like, oh, you need a TikTok. You gotta make TikToks. And what is it called on Instagram? Not Vines. Oh my God, I'm dating myself. Whatever it's called on Instagram. Like, you have to do that too. You listening to everybody, following every new thing is going to exhaust you, unless you just want to do it. If you want to do it, then by all means, go for it. But I know for me, if I did it, it'd be really forced. I don't feel like making a TikTok. Not right now, not today. And if I make it, it'll probably just for fun. But like, I'm not going to do it just because all the business gurus say, oh, it's a new hot thing now. Follow your heart. Do what works for you, not what works for an algorithm or what people are telling you that you should do. Follow ease. Live more ease in your life. Stop forcing stuff. Be at rest. Reels. Thank y'all. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Kim. Y'all, I'm old, right? I'm not old, but you get me. So yeah, so reels. Like, you don't have to do everything that everybody else is doing. If it's not interesting to you, it's not interesting to you. Let it go. And I like watching them. They're entertaining. But again, it's just not for me. Not right now. Again, social media breaks. Listening to your heart, not the algorithm. Do what feels good. Like I said, do what's easy. Easy. And easy does not mean lazy. Easy does not mean bad. Easy just means that you're following the flow. Just go with the flow, right? Like, if you don't have to post every single day to be impactful. You don't have to post, everything you're doing all day long to be impactful. You can be impactful by making one thing that actually like resonates with everybody else. Just do it. Just follow your heart. Do the stuff. Do the stuff messy. Instagram, like I said, will have you thinking that you have to be perfect. You don't. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. You have to be like, that's it. In whatever regard that is, whether it's again, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, be yourself. And again, be okay with being imperfect, because we're all imperfect. And if anything, when I see imperfect art, I'm like, thank God. Okay. Me too, right? Like, I'm in progress too. I'm not perfect either. I'm so glad that you're figuring it out. I'm so glad that you struggle with insecurity and like all the stuff that I'm struggling with, because it makes me feel like that I'm seen and that I'm not alone. Another one is actually ask yourself what you like. Do you know what you like? Are you sure? Or do you just like it because everybody else likes it and they think that you should like it, right? And I hate to use this controversial example, right? Some people don't like Beyonce, okay? It's just a thing. Some people don't. And for some people, they're like, how can you say that? She's the best. I will say that she is the best entertainer of our generation. Yes, right? But some people don't like her. And I'm using this example because it just shows like how much people are so tied to these like group thinking things. They're so tied to these identities. I'm Hive, you Hive. Like, it's cool, it's fun, and it's a fun example. But really, like, do you like the things because you like it or because other people are telling you to like it? Ask yourself that, and ask yourself, do you really know what you like? I really have to ask myself that. Do I even like being on Instagram? Do I like that? Or am I just on it because it's just here and it's something to do, right? Take in slow and take in I knew Kim was gonna say something. What? Not B. See, I keep saying it wrong. Oh, B. No. I'm not saying I hate her. I'm not saying that listen. I'm just saying that I might not just be Hive. I like some songs from her, sure. But I think that some people are just, very supportive of her, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful community. But if you say anything wrong about Beyonce, they're coming for you. They are coming for you. Oh no, we're getting some opposing views here. She messed up Lion King. Oh no. I'm gonna back out this conversation before it gets ugly. You could hear the Hive. That's funny. That's funny. But yes, take on slow hobbies. Take on things that are just fun for the sake of being fun, right? Take on stuff that's like garden for the sake of gardening, cook for the sake of cooking, paint because it feels good, right? Like, do stuff that is not equated to your worth or your value based on Instagram likes, subscribes, all the other stuff. Like, do stuff that's actually like centering and heart centering for you. And so again, stuff that feels good just because it feels good. Again, hang with your friends. Go hang out with your friends. They don't care how many followers you have. They don't care how many views you had on this video. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to be around people who love you for you. Love you if you never created something. Love you if, I don't know, if you fell off the face of the earth, they would still know who you are, right? You need to get around those people whose views of you never change based on how important you are from the views of other people. who wants to have friends like, oh my God, you have 10,000 subscribers. I need to be your friend. It's like, or you can just be my friend. You know what I mean? Get with those people. And again, I have, like I said, Marquita, she don't even be on, and her people, like she has thorough people. Like it's possible to have a community behind you without having a whole bunch of followers. And my last tip, create for yourself first. Before you create something and you say, I want to create something that's going to get me a whole bunch of likes. I want to create something that's going to, I don't know, go viral, whatever it is, right? That stuff is not the stuff you should create. The stuff you should create is the stuff that you think about, the stuff that you have to write down the ideas for, the stuff that you like talk to other people about all the time, right? Like, it's like to me, there's no point of posting something because you want it to go viral, because you will be disappointed, or what you went viral for, you'll be known for, and therefore you won't be able to be yourself later on. You went viral for this thing that's not even your vision and in your view. You know what I'm saying? You want to have people that follow you, that actually believe what you're saying, resonate with what you're saying, and can go with you when you do change your mind, when you do pivot, when you do become more of who you are, right? When you become more bold and more clear about what you want to do. You don't want people that are just going to follow you for a time. Like, oh, it's hot right now. It's great. I'm hot right now, and then like, again, that video that I posted and it got thousands of views, and then all the other stuff is just like 30, 100, and I'm grateful for that 30. I'm grateful for that 100. I'm grateful for the people that are impacted by that stuff. But I will say it is disheartening when you're like, oh, I thought I actually did something creative and good, and it's not getting as many followers or as many likes as I would want it to get, right? So I had to redefine how I see my art as worthy. Do I like it? I got to create for me first. Like, before I create for you guys, there are things that I have to do for myself. Strumming in the corner of the room because I want to sing a song. You know what I'm saying? And if I post it, I might not, but I think it's really important for creatives to create for themselves first before they create for anybody else. Crystal says, these are such my sentiments. How do we get here? Yay, I'm glad. And yeah, I don't know. I think about what it was like, and I grew up in the 90s. I grew up in the 90s and 2000s. And so I remember how free it was, like, to not have to worry about what people, like, of course you worried about what people thought about you, like your classmates and stuff, but it was like maybe 35, 40 people. Our rooms were overcrowded, but there were 35, 40 people in the classroom. And now, like, you have thousands of followers, right? And so now you're worried about what 2,000 people think of you, what 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, depending on how many followers you have. And that can be debilitating. That can be scary because you're trying to please all these people. Like, when people validate your idea, now you feel like you have an expectation to live up to, like I said earlier. And so if you don't live up to that expectation, it can feel like, oh, what they thought about me was wrong. It's that fear of being seen, right? That fear of being found out, that imposter syndrome. The more supporters you have, the more that can pull that out if you're not careful. And so I just remember growing up and how free it was and how creative I was, just like with my Barbies, with running around outside and creating worlds that I lived in. I created imaginary friends, like this fake food. I made this thing called sunflower seed soup. And my great grandmother, she loved my sunflower seed soup. I think she was just being nice, but I was just doing stuff because I wanted to do it, and not being concerned with, what people thought of me. And I had people like my great grandmother who was like, I'll drink it. I'll drink the sunflower seed soup. Y'all, it was sunflower seeds and seasoned salt, and like, but she was my biggest fan, right? And so as a kid, I had that freedom, and I'm trying so desperately to get back to that freedom. And I want other people to be that free too. You know what I'm saying? And so that's my whole message in this, is like, social media is great. Social media provides a place for us to come together, even here. But if we're not careful, social media will turn around and bite us in the butt when we're trying to appease other people, algorithms, when we lose ourselves and all this other stuff, when we feel like we're not good enough, or we stop creating because we got 2 likes on a post, even though we like doing the thing that we created. That's sad. That's a tragedy, and it's not worth it. And if social media is making you question your value like that, it might be time to rethink and to question whether or not you should be on social media at all. Or reconsider the value and the weight that you put on social media. Does it make you feel good? Okay, good. That's good enough. Like when I ask my friends, do you like this? Do you like this? And they're like, do you like it? And I'm like, I do. And when they say, okay, that's enough. That's frustrating as I don't know what, right? But at the same time, I get it, because you should be creating from your own heart, not to please other people. But I also understand, as an artist, you do want to be validated. You do want someone to say, "Oh, good job," and you're like, "Okay, great, that was a good job." Okay, So I get both sides. I hope that what I'm saying makes sense. So Tasha says, "LOL, at our rooms were overcrowded." Listen, PG County schools, our rooms were definitely overcrowded. Keela Russell says, "That can be dangerous." It can be. It can be very dangerous. My kittens think that I'm the most important and strongest person in the world. I love that. That makes me so happy. My kittens think that I'm the most important and strongest person in the world. I encourage everyone to get kittens. I want a kitten. If you can convince my husband to let me get one, I would appreciate that very much. But he's not having it right now. So I hope overall that this was helpful, you guys. I hope that you got my message. Again, we will finish Miss Tammy Russell soon. I'll probably just finish her later on this week and share it with you guys. I'll post it here on YouTube and on Instagram. I won't post it on Instagram maybe because I'm taking a break. Hold me accountable. And I just want to shout out to you guys for being here. For everybody that's here and commenting, and everybody that isn't commenting that's here, shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Jay, Rocio, Carlton. Let's see, Marquita, Margarita, Jay. Did I say you already? Sorry, baby. Jen, Tasha, Keela. If I repeat your name, I'm sorry. Crystal, Atux. Crystal again. Tasha again. Shaunis. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. You told me how to pronounce your name last time. And I'm going to get it right. I'm going to get it right, because no, I am so sorry. You told me how to pronounce your name. Yes. And I have it. Shaughnessy. I am so sorry. I said your name wrong earlier. I apologize. Atux. Let's see. One above all. Thank you. Wingable 500. Thank you so much. Kim. Thank you. Marcus. Yay. I think I got everybody. If I didn't get you, please forgive me. Or just shout yourself out right now. But yes, I appreciate you guys spending time with me. We went over, we usually get this done by 9, but I really wanted to get this point across. That social media. Oh, hold up. So Wingable 500 said, especially when they got rid of the commons for classrooms. Yes. Wait. Yes. Largo. Yes. Okay. Yes. I went to Largo High School, and yeah, they got rid of our common area and made it for classrooms. And it's just too much. It's too much. Jay says, I think the idea of celebrity became more tangible because of the internet. I agree. Popularity went beyond being cool at school to being an influence in the world. That's real. And Jay says, doesn't help that we get a dopamine fixes online. That's so true. When someone likes your photo, or even, like you said, you were talking about earlier, hate watching something, the dopamine fix, that's so real. Oh, I feel good about myself. I got a view today. But yeah, I get that. Rocio, hearts, yay. And Crystal says, right, Jay, exactly. So I love you guys. Thank you for spending time with me. It's 9:30. I'm so sorry. I try to be respectful of people's time. But yeah, if you can leave if you need to leave. I'm going to wrap up now, but I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. Thank you for talking with me. And again, when I finish Miss Tammy Terrell, I will post her and share her with you guys. And this March, I encourage you, even if you don't take a break from social media necessarily, if you feel like you can't do that right now, just set parameters for yourself, set limits for yourself, and create something. Make something every day, whether it's a meal, a drawing, a sketch, whatever you do, like a song. It could be unfinished. It just make something every day for the sake of making it, not because you want people to like it, not because you want no followers or all this other stuff. Just make stuff because it feels good, and reconnect with your creativity. Reconnect with that stuff that social media kind of disconnects you from. And tell me what you think. Tell me how that experience has been for you. And I'll be here again tomorrow to make music. And then I'll be here on Monday. But yeah, I think I will take a social media break, considering it. Let's see. We'll see. But anyway, I love you guys. I will talk to you soon, and keep creating, keep making, because what you have to do, what you have to say, what you make, it matters. Even if only 2 people like it, it matters. If nobody likes it, what you create matters, and it should matter to you first, okay? So until next time, you guys, talk to you later. Bye.